Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat. I am Gina K from Gina K Designs, and I'm so excited to have all of you here from all over the country and all over the world. We are here in snowy, freezing Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and wow, Happy New Year. I have missed you guys so much, and I am so glad to finally be back. Wish I could hug each one of you individually. I really, really missed you. It was a long 2 weeks. It was a great 2 weeks. The holidays came and went. A little different this year, right? But we made it, and it's 2021. So yay. Okay. Well, tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun using the new A Little Love. That's this here, A Little Love layered stencil bundle. This is the layering stencil bundle that comes with 3 layering stencils that work together to create a beautiful floral design. It's also got a full die set that coordinates with the stencils, and it's got a love die and a shadow die all on a magnetic sheet. And then it's got a mini stamp set that coordinates with the stencils as well. So you can create really, really beautiful, fun projects. All right, so for those of you who were able to get our big brush set, congratulations. This one did sell out, the big set, but more are coming back in stock soon. We already have Make It by Marco working on our holder, and they've also, I got a chance to talk to Carl today, and they are working on that inner insert for this thing. I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So in the meantime, we still have our brushes, lots of 4-packs, lots of 2-packs left, and lots of this bundle still available for you. So I just recently watched a video by my friend Simon Hurley. And if you don't know Simon Hurley is a young crafter. He does a podcast occasionally with my daughter Rena.
Make It by Marco's here.
Oh, hey, Carl, good to see you. And Rebecca's here too. It's nice to see you guys. I'm just loving all over this holder that you guys made for me and these fun color clips. Love it, love it, love it. So anyway, let me go back. I was watching a video that Simon Hurley, and if you don't know who Simon Hurley is, you've got to go right over to YouTube. You've got to search Simon Hurley's YouTube channel, and you've got to subscribe to his channel because he's an amazing young man who does absolutely beautiful card projects. He's got his own line with Ranger. He's got his own ink line with Ranger. But he got this brush set and he got the bundle, and he made 3 of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen using this new bundle. And he taught me a trick. And just in case you didn't see it, I'm going to show it to you tonight. But full credit goes to Simon Hurley for this trick. I don't know why I didn't think of this. It's pretty brilliant. Okay, so let's go to the overhead camera. And I have my Misty here. So let me back out a little bit. So Simon is a wonderful designer. Yes, sometimes he pops in here when we're doing lives. Oh goodness, I see an angry face already. Get ready, Tom, it's coming. Okay, Tom is here, and I just have to tell you guys, this has been a week for me. I woke up yesterday morning, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but I had a blood vessel break in my eye, and you just look like the devil when you look in the mirror. It's so horrible. And then that was 2 days ago, or the day before yesterday. And then this morning I woke up and it looked worse. So I called my doctor in a panic, and he said, no, that happens to people and you don't have to worry. And I sent him a picture and he said that it looked fine and that it always looks terrible because a tiny little blood vessel in your eye breaking looks awful. So I hope you guys aren't distracted by my eyeball tonight. Okay, so Simon Hurley used his Misty to use our stencils, and I thought what he did was brilliant. So I'm going to show you tonight. So if you've never used layering stencils before, maybe you missed this video where I made this card using the bundle. But you can go over to my YouTube channel and find it super quickly because it's the last video I did. So if you've never used layering stencils before, there are 3 parts to these stencils. And it's marked on here, part 1, part 2, and part 3. So you'll know. And down at the bottom is where it says Gina K Designs, Ruffled Flowers 1, Ruffled Flowers 2, Ruffled Flowers 3, and our website is on this side. So when you're using these, you just want to make sure that that writing is down at the bottom of each stencil. Now, I designed these stencils to have registration circles in them. So let's see, you can see them better over here. So you can see as long as you line up all the dots together, they're very easy to use. And that's really helpful if, let's say, you're working on a 12 by 12 scrapbook page and you want to do a few stenciled flowers. You can line, well, I don't know about that. No, that would not be a good thing because you'd have to actually ink in there. So you don't want to do that. But that's the way you would do it on a piece of paper if you don't have the MISTI. You line it up with those circles and everything lines up beautifully and you can see all the layers through there. Well, Simon, brilliant Simon, I love this idea. He took his 6 by 6 piece of paper, because that's what we're going to start with, because these are 6 by 6 stencils. And he tucked his paper down in the corner here. And then he just popped the stencil right down in the corner and he put his magnet on it. Isn't that brilliant? So now you just have to pop the stencils down in the corner. I'll tell you, you know, kids, he's not a kid, he's an adult, but he's young. And to me, you know, everybody that's younger than me is a kid. So probably a lot of you out there are kids. So I'm just going to put a little piece of purple tape up in that corner. And then I'm going to pop this stencil on here, making sure that the writing is down here at the bottom. And I'm going to put that in place, and you can hold it down with your magnet if you want. Okay. So tonight I thought I would do something a little bit different. My last card, and many of our design team's cards, they did with pinks and reds and beautiful peaches and things. Tonight I thought I would work a little bit with blue. So powder blue is truly one of my favorite Gina K Designs colors. I don't use it anywhere near enough, but I thought it would be fun to use it tonight. So I do have some paper towels here because I might want to clean off my brushes in between layers. So I have some paper towels here, and I also have my tidy towel. So I'm going to use that to help me clean the brush off, because I'm going to be using a couple different colors of blue, and I'm going to just use the same brush over and over again. So I noticed that some people have put their color clips on this way, and I did that. But if you turn the color clip and put it on this way, then if you hold it here, it'll feel a little smoother. I generally don't hold my brush here. I tend to hold it on the flexible head because I can control the pressure. So Beverly, you're a kid, 60 years old, a 60-year-old kid, just a big kid, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to use my blue brush, and I'm going to start with some of the Gina K Designs Ocean Mist. I just want to lay down a nice misty background on these flowers. So I'm going to use this brush, and you see when I'm inking up the brush, I do put pressure on the brush head because I do want it to pick up ink. If you just hold it this way, you're not going to get a lot of pressure and you might not get enough ink. So put a little pressure on it so you get some ink. And then I'm going to start on this flower. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm not going to put a lot of pressure because I don't want this ink to be super dark. Okay. Here we go. Doing my flowers. Oh, this is so fun. I am having just an absolute blast with these layering stencils. And you know what I forgot to tell you guys? My daughter Alicia designed these. She and I had a coffee date, and she actually drew these while we sat and had coffee over Zoom. She shared her screen with me, and she asked me what I wanted, and she drew all of these stencil designs for me, and it was super fun. She also designed 2 more that I am really excited about. Okay, so there, I just gave that a nice little bit of color there. So I'll just give you a peek of what that looks like. It's nice because I don't have to take it all apart, thanks to Simon Hurley's brilliance. Okay, so you can see what that looks like. Very soft, very lacy and elegant. Okay, I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to put my magnet back. So now I'm going to add a little bit of the powder blue. Now, in this case, I really don't have to clean my brush. I don't have a ton of color on here, and it's a lighter color blue. But if you want to clean your brushes in between, all you have to do is take your damp tidy towel and just rub the bristles over the damp tidy towel, and then take a piece of paper towel and just rub that color off. And once it, it just rubs clean, then even though the bristles will be stained, which is not a bad thing because these bristles are, they're made of a plastic material, but they do stain. And that's nice because you can see the color of the brush. So even if you don't have the brushes with the color clips, this is your blue brush or your turquoise brush, however you want to use it. Hey, Simon Hurley, I've just been bragging on your brilliant idea here. And so I'm using it and I'm showing everybody, and then I'm going to link your video in my description over on YouTube. So thank you so much for your beautiful video. Love it. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little powder blue. I'm using the same brush and I'm going to load it up with some powder blue. And I really do like mixing the turquoise and the powder blue. The first one was Ocean Mist. This one is powder blue. So this is Ocean Mist right here, and this one that I'm using now is powder blue. Okay, so now I'm going to add this a little bit more in the center. And again, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the brush head. I'm just kind of adding some of that color in there. Oh, I like that. So pretty. Okay. What's so fun about these stencils is this takes away all of the issue of trying to do that no-line coloring look. I'm not very good at no-line coloring, and I'm not embarrassed to admit it, but we have some fantastic designers that do beautiful no-line coloring. I've just never been able to master it. Doesn't mean that I can't. I just need to practice more, and I don't have a lot of time. So this gives me the look of no line coloring because you get all that beautiful shading and there's no stamping, there's no inking. So, all right, so you can see that powder blue is so pretty on there, and you can see the depth in that. Isn't that just, doesn't it just look like they're three-dimensional? Yeah. So I will have you know that we did get a lot of orders for these stencil bundles. So we are still at about 10 to 14 days shipping. And I'm sorry about that. I know everybody's so eager to get it, but we are working as quickly as we possibly can to get those orders out to you. Ooh, I just shifted my stencil. We'll see what that looks like. So I'm testing these out. I'm actually not going to use this. I'm going to cut a couple of these out, but I just want to see what that color looks like on these small flowers too, because I am going to do another background. Okay. All right. So let's take this off. All right. Oh, that is just so lovely in blue. I really, really like that. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp some more powder blue, and I'm going to use this little circle here, and I'm going to stamp circles. Actually, maybe I'll use the little dots. I'm going to use those little dots. I've been dying to use this tiny stamp here. Okay. So I'm not going to use powder blue with that. What I'm going to do here is I am going to do a little embossing. So we're going to add a little bit of 3-dimension here. And I'm going to do the 3 big flowers because these are the ones that I'm going to cut out. I'm not going to cut out all 3, but while I'm doing it, I'm going to stamp all 3. This way, if I cut one out wrong, it doesn't look good, I can cut a different one. And I can also cut them and save them for other projects. So I'm going to use some Versamark ink here. And I'm going to ink up this tiny little stamp, these 3 dots. Let me get my embossing powder ready. So for this, I'm going to do the centers using some of the Gina K Designs Fine Detail Gold powder. They do look like hydrangeas. You're right. They do have that kind of feel. It's like a modern day hydrangea. I love them. All righty. So I'm going to stamp this center. I'm sorry if my head gets in the way. There we go. Oh, and I do have to tell you that we have a new video out by Gina K. Rena just uploaded it tonight, and honestly, I never laughed so hard. It's a really good video. It's a video where she's actually scrapbooking 2020. So you can only imagine, right? So if you get a chance, check out her new video too. All right, so I'm going to just use a tiny little bit here right in the centers. I really didn't have to do that. I could have just poured it over, but why not? You can see I didn't get a great impression on that first one. That's why it's good to do them all. There we go. Okay, so we're going to emboss those. Gosh, I missed you guys. This is so much fun to be with you. Hey, everyone. It's so great to see you guys popping in here. Happy New Year. Okay, so I'm going to emboss the centers in gold just to add a little bit of sparkle. I agree, Renee. She should do stand-up comedy. Yes, Sky, she is funny. She makes me laugh every time she posts a video, but she also makes me laugh a lot in real life. She's a funny girl. You know, it's funny that you said she should be a stand-up comedian because I don't know if you guys know this, but my dad was a stand-up comedian. He did comedy. He was on the Ed Sullivan Show, and he was on Jack Parr was before Carson, right? So he was on the Jack Parr Show. He's a very funny, funny comedian. And my mom was a big band singer, and she sang with Glenn Miller's band right after Glenn Miller passed away and Tex Beneke took over the band. So my parents were in show business, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that sparkle in the center. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside, and we're going to do a second round of stenciling. So I have another piece here, and I'm going to tack that down, and I'm going to use the same stencil, make sure I got the right position. Let me find it.
Should remind everybody about Thursday.
Yes, I sure will.
Okay.
I will. Okay. So we're going to do another round of the same inking. So anyway, my dad was a stand-up comedian, and everybody in my family, before my dad passed away, everybody in my family would always say that Rena had my dad's exact same personality, which is really true. Really true. She's funny. Okay, so this might be a little bit darker, but that's okay. Has a little bit of that powder blue in there, not a lot. So I'm just adding that ocean mist right now. And then I'm getting the little flowers in there. Just a little ocean mist base. So pretty. Yeah, so that was my upbringing. I had parents that were in show business.
What was your dad's stage name?
My dad's stage name was Benny Hayden. And my mom's stage name was Ruth Rogers. And for my East Coast friends, anybody that lives in the Philadelphia area, New Jersey, maybe even Delaware and Maryland, my parents played a lot down in Wildwood, New Jersey at Cozy Morley's. They played there every summer. So some of you are probably way too young to know what I'm talking about. But for those of you that maybe have a little history in that part of the country, or had parents that went down there, that was a fun spot. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to the powder blue again. Alrighty. And I'm going to add that layer in there. Simon, this is genius that you use the Misty for this, tucking it in. I love it. Very smart. And I promise you guys, I will add Simon Hurley's video to the description. I'm also going to add Mindy Egan's video into the description. She did a great video. I think she did 2 videos actually using this set. And I'm also going to share Kathy Zilski's link. Kathy Zilski just did a video, and I just caught a little bit of it because she just put it up today. I got to watch the rest of it, but her card is beautiful. So many of my wonderful friends out here in the industry supporting me and, you know, sharing their beautiful talent with Gina K Designs. And I'm so thankful for that. All right, so now we've got the blue. I'm going to add it again on these little ones. A little bit of that powder blue. Yeah, I'm finding a lot of camaraderie and fun over on YouTube. A lot of good energy from a lot of good people, and that is so special. It really is. Okay, looking good. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off now. So there's my first layer, and once that dries, they'll dry up a little lighter like these. Now I'm going to go to the second layer. So I have to just make sure that the stencil name is right down in the same spot and just pop it right into the same corner there. And honestly, Simon, it's genius. Okay, that's tucked in. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to use a green, and I've got my green brush already dirty. So I'm going to clean a little bit of that off. Just a little bit on my tidy towel, and then a little bit there. Dory, your parents went to Cozy's? I know, you haven't heard that name in a long time. Yeah, I think it's C-O-Z-Y, he spelled it, but I knew what you meant. And now I'm going to use some jelly bean green. Oh, all right. Yes, Simon, it's brilliant. Okay, so we're going to use jelly bean green, and we're going to do all of the leaves in some jelly bean. And what I love about these stencils, with stencils in general, what I love is how as you're blending, just parts are darker than other parts. You kind of get that natural shading in there anyway. But then when you come in with a second color, oh my goodness, it's just so much fun. Yes, Susan, you're right. There is a picture of my parents. If you search on Pinterest, Hayden and Rogers, there's a picture that comes up. And there's other pictures too, like of Cozy Morley's and stuff that come up too. I actually saved that search. I was looking for stuff on my parents not that long ago. So yeah, you can see what my mom and dad looked like in their stage outfits, and it's so fun. Okay. So there we go. We've got that lighter green there. So I think this time, instead of using another green, I might use a little bit of blue. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean the brush a little bit. And then I am going to use a little bit of Turquoise Sea, just a tiny bit. I don't want it to be really blue, but I just want it to kind of mix in a little bit with some of the other blues in here. So we'll just add a little bit of blue in here. Just a little bit, just to change up the color. It still looks very green, but it's got that blue tint to it. So Tom, Julie wants to know, what are your parents famous for? Well, they're famous for Tom. They brought him into the world, so that was a good thing. Tom's thinking. He doesn't want to get in trouble either. He's not saying anything. I think you stumped him. All right, so you can see that little bit of turquoise in there just really adds a little something. And I love how the darker color kind of catches around the perimeter. Did I ever sing with my parents? I did not sing with my parents, but I played piano. And when they needed a piano player to come, I would come with them and I would play their act for them. So I played for my mom to sing. I never sang with them. Tom and I had our own band, so we sang our own kind of music, but I was able to play their show without a problem. So that was a lot of fun. All right, let's take a look at what this looks like. Yes, look how pretty that is. Aren't they pretty? Let's see. Tom, if there's any questions I missed, you let me know. All right, now we're going to add the details. So we're going to put this down here. Again, Simon, brilliant. Every time I do this, I think Simon Hurley's a genius. Okay, so now for this one, we're going to avoid the centers of these flowers, and we're just going to work on the leaves themselves. So for this, I'm going to use some of the powder blue. Now, it's not going to look powder blue. I'll tell you that right now. It is not going to look powder blue, but it's going to be darker than the greens. So we're just going to add those details with this blue. And I'm using the blue brush again. Okay. I love how so many of our friends here in the group, in the chat tonight, and always in the chat, are talking to each other and developing friendships. And that just makes me so happy. So one thing that you can do, if you're worried about, you know, touching the little holes, you don't want to get anything in the holes of the flowers, you can just take a little Post-it note and just kind of put it right over the hole. So when you're working on this section here, it's not going to get in that hole. There we go. Okay. Now you can cover these holes right here, and you can work on this section a little bit. And again, I'm using powder blue this time. I'm just being careful. You kind of want to like get in there with the tip of the brush a little bit. Okay. I'll cover this over here. So I wanted to remind you guys all now that I won't be doing a Wednesday night because we've started our 2021 new schedule. So I'm going to be doing a live this Thursday at noon. I'm being very careful not to get into these two areas. So I'll be on Thursday at noon. Of course, there'll be a replay. There always is. And I'm sorry if some of you have to work and aren't going to be able to jump in on that. But I know that there are a lot of people who actually work at night, and they've been asking me if I would do something during the day so that they could participate too. So if we can keep one night and one lunchtime one, that will be lots of fun. Okay, look at those details. How pretty is that, right? You guys see that? Let me hold it up a little closer so that you can see all the details. Yes, the dies do come with the kit. Could you do the flowers and leaves on separate pieces of paper and make them easy to cut? Yes, you definitely can do that. You can do the leaves separately. You can do the flowers separately. Absolutely, you can do all of that. Now, I just did it all together because I do have these flowers over here, and I wanted to just cut one out and maybe pop it in the center and have like a little bit of something raised, just one raised one. But before I do that, I'm going to add gold into these flowers as well. So we're going to add that little bit of sparkle to all of the flowers. Maybe not all of them. I don't think I'm going to do these tiny ones. I might do something different in there. Let me see. You guys know that I do this on the fly. I don't plan too much. So we're all kind of figuring this out together. I asked on one live, should I plan a little bit better? And people were like, no. We want to see you screw up, which everybody gets to see that a lot on my lives. All right, so I'm going to find my Versamark pad here. And let me put my brushes back and away so that I don't lean on them and get ink all over me. Not that I mind ink all over me, but I will get it all over my project too. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use that same little dotted center for these flowers. Okay. We'll see how this looks. All right. And 3. So they don't have to be perfect. And trust me, they're not. And I used a lot of embossing magic on that because I really wanted to try to dry up as much of the ink as possible. Even though this is dye ink and it does dry very quickly, it seeps into the cardstock, and sometimes it's not dry all the way through, and it will stick in places because of that. So by using that embossing magic pad, you really help eliminate a lot of that. I love just the little bit of sparkle in this card. I'm going to add some more sparkle too. Okay. There we go. So let's heat this up. Now, if I had wanted to, that third stencil that I used, that third layer where I added these powder blue lines, I could have smushed embossing powder in there, and then I could have had gold veins going through all of my leaves too. So if you want to do that, you definitely can add a little bit more gold. I have a quote for you tonight. Don't be sad. I have a quote definitely tonight. I actually posted this quote on my Instagram, but not everybody follows me on Instagram, so I thought it would be kind of fun to add it to this tonight. So there's a little bit of sparkle. So we could do some other things, like we could add a few dots here and there if we wanted to. We could add just solid dots with a little bit of sparkle in there. Let's do that. Let's add just a little bit more. Ooh. I didn't realize that, but look, there's a smaller one of these little dots. I'm going to use that and add some little dots into some of the other flowers. Yes. Okay. So I admit, when I was designing this stamp set to coordinate with Alicia's flowers, I was very tired. I was under a lot of pressure, and I don't actually remember what I did. So it's good to kind of look at it and say, oh, look, I have that. I have that. All right. So this is the smaller of those two stamps, the little dots here and the tinier version there. So let's add a little bit more. We'll put some here, although I probably won't even see this one because I'll cover it.
What stamp set is that?
Well, this stamp set is the stamp set that goes along with this bundle. So it's called A Little Love, and it goes with the A Little Love stencil, layering stencil bundle. I don't know where I put them. Okay, so if you don't know where you put them, here's how you figure out where you put them. You pour some embossing powder on there, and then you find out where you stamped them already. See, if I don't know if I put any here, but apparently I didn't put any there. So, but this, this is the way you find out. It's better to find out if you already did it than to do it a second time and have it all blurry. I'm just blowing the excess away. I really just blew the embossing powder right off of that. Apparently my lungs are in good condition, so that's good. Okay. Let's heat these up. Get this little tiny bit of sparkle going here. Cute. Oh, so fun. That just makes a difference, having that little bit of shine in there. Yep, it's called A Little Love Layering Stencil Bundle, and you will find it in the What's New category on our website. All right, there's one. Here's one. And there's other stamps in here that you can accent the big flowers too, which is fun. I'll have to do that in another video because I'm kind of already set now on this design. I'm feeling it. All righty. Okay. Ooh, didn't do one there, see? Why am I yelling? Is the microphone like getting blasted off the charts there, Tom? People turning down their televisions. I know a lot of people watch me on their televisions, they say, like their big screens. And I got to tell you, that makes me nervous. That makes me uncomfortable. That's too big. That's too much Gina. All right, so I'm doing this. I'm trying not to actually emboss right over the pile of embossing powder that's down there. Okay. Gotta do this tiny one, even though it's really tiny and it's probably just gonna look like a big gold blotch, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't even know if I need all these. That's gonna be too much. But we're doing it anyway. I'm committed now. And if not, I can always cover it with something, right? like the greeting. All right, I'm not going to do that one way on the end there. Oh, I better. You just never know where you're going to cut. Well, I wouldn't cut there. Well, I might. I'm thinking on the fly. Oh, I was devastated when they came out with HD cameras, because before when Tom and I have been making YouTube videos for so long that the first cameras that we bought, they were like broadcast quality cameras that like news stations were using. They were like the kind that the newscasters used when they go out on the road. And it was nice. It was very Liz Taylor, you know, it was almost like there was like a pair of nylons over the camera lens, very soft, and you looked really good. And then HD came along, and oh my word, I started going to Sephora asking for pore reducing stuff, and I looked really good before. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to put this aside for a second. So let me find my little paper cutter. Here we go. Now, where should I cut is the big question. There's so much pretty stuff here. I could actually cut using my dies. I'm going to do that. So we're going to use some dies here, and we're going to cut it out. Everybody's laughing, but it's true. It was scary. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Why are the cameras 1/10 of the size and can pick up every stray chin hair that I didn't pluck out? I didn't get it. I didn't like it. Okay, so I'm going to use the Master Layouts 2 die set. This is a big favorite of mine for cutting this design out. And I'm going to use the stitched rectangle. Let's see. Okay, so I think it's so hard to decide where to cut. Should I cut right there? I think I'll cut right there because I can pop a big flower right into here, and that's what I want to do. So I'm going to cut there. It's all pretty. Anywhere you cut is pretty. And what's nice about the stencil being a 6x6, I know a lot of people do little 6x6 books, little scrapbooks. And if you do that, this is a really nice little backdrop for behind some photos. So it's nice that they're 6x6. All right, there we go. So that looks really pretty, and you can see that delicate little stitching going around. Now I'm going to use the complementary layer. And like this, guys, you can keep this. This could be a nice little strip going across the bottom of your card. And if you want, you can extend it by cutting out this piece and the flower and just have it draped down. I'm not going to give too much away because Simon Hurley has a technique that's a little bit similar to that in his video. So when I link it, make sure you watch that. Watch all his techniques because they're really good. Okay, so now I'm going to pop this in here. And this is the layering panel from Master Layouts 2. And I'm going to cut that out so we get that nice black shadow layer. Are there a lot of trolls? I think Tom's on it. You on it, Tom? Tom's like blasting them. I can see them just like catapulting into outer space from here. Okay, so that is going to be the layer there. I know that's really far. It's like you're watching me from an airplane. I will zoom in soon, but I have a little more cutting to do. So my next thing that I'm going to cut is I'm going to cut the love die. So let me find the love die. So in this set, you get the love and you get the shadow die. So last time I did, I'll show you real quick what I did here. I did the black with the white background. And I really want to do that again because I just like the way that looks. So I'm going to do that. So we'll get a piece of white cardstock here. And this is my little tip, and I've told you this before, but in case you're new to my channel, so what I'm doing here is I'm just tilting this a little bit, but this is blade side up. Most people will cut their dies this way. where they put the paper down and then they put the blade side down. I like to cut more intricate dies blade side up and put the paper on top and make sure it's on one side or the other side of your die cutting machine. It cuts better. You get a better cut. It's smoother. It has less little stray things on it. And you can see how easy that is. And this is a pretty intricate die. You see how skinny that is? This little piece here. And just see what I did? I cut it out in white and I meant to cut it out in black. So maybe we'll do the opposite this time. We'll see how it looks. Where's everybody telling me what to do? I need that. Okay, let's see. We'll peel that out. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? The love does look pretty in white. Let's do that. Should we do white and vellum? I wonder if you'll be able to see it. I'm going to cut a piece of vellum. We'll just try it. We don't have to commit to it. We can just try it and we'll see how it looks. So I have a piece of vellum here and I'm going to cut the shadow die with the vellum. So I'm going to do the same thing. Put my vellum on top. Because a lot of times I use the white on a white card and I do a strip of vellum. But since we have the shadow die, we can just do the shadow in vellum. Well, powder blue on black would be really pretty too. Yes, Pam, definitely. All right, so we'll see how well that cut. And then if we put those together, that's very, very soft, isn't it? That's just a soft look. Now let's just look at it before we commit. Can we see that enough? I don't think we can see it enough. I'm not happy enough with that. So I'm going to go back to my original thought here. You guys are with me. We're not going anywhere. We've got time. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out of white. This is the shadow die. We're going to cut it out of white. And we're going to go with the black love. I feel like this would look really good if I did one of Simon Hurley's other techniques that he's going to show you in his video. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but that will be the teaser. Because he did something really cool with the stencil without stenciling. So you guys have to see that too. All right, so I'm going to cut this love out with black cardstock. And then I'm going to emboss. Black is awfully harsh for a soft card. Yeah, I think if I used the black in the wrong way, like I used the black background and then just the white word love, I think it might be very harsh, but I do use black on almost all of my cards and it's kind of my thing. I really like it. And I feel like if it's used tastefully, it just brings out the color a little bit better. So like in this card, you can see it's very soft, but those pops of black just bring it out. So Simon, the stenciling without stenciling, you know how you use the other part of the stencil to add color? Ooh, that's a hint. All right, now I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to do one more cut, but I need a greeting. So one of the most popular cards, types of cards that I make, and I'm sure a lot of you guys make too, is birthday cards. And I never have enough birthday cards, or I never have a birthday card ready when I need it. So I'm going to use my embossing magic pad on this piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to use end birthday wishes. Because when we designed this, Alicia and I talked a lot about it. We didn't want it to be a Valentine's Day set, although you certainly can use this to make Valentine's Day cards because the love is beautiful. But we wanted it to be something that you could use year round, that you didn't have to be in love to use this. So I'm going to use this love and birthday wishes. All right, here we go. So there we go. And this I'm going to use a little white embossing powder. These little containers were given to me by Arlene Plastine. She sent them to me from Amazon. And Arlene, I love them. Thank you if you're watching. I really appreciate it. Okay. Ooh, that looks really good, really clean. All right, still a little die cutting to do, but we're gonna make it. Love and birthday wishes. So I'm gonna I'm gonna emboss this. Now, if you guys have trouble getting the dustiness off of your black cardstock, you can take one of those Swiffer dusters. I know you have them in your house. I have them. I don't dust, but they are a great thing to use for card making. So my dusty house is dusty, but my cards are not dusty. I don't have one with me right now, so I'm just going to use my sleeve here and get rid of the excess. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to cut this out with one of the little flags. So I'll remove all my stuff here. Oh, my word. Yes, the little tasting spoons. That's what I need to get. I think you can get them at like Costco or places like that. The little tiny like tasting spoons. When you go to the ice cream place and you say, can I just taste that flavor? And they give you the tiny little plastic spoon. That's what I need to get for my little containers that Arlene sent me. All right, so I'm going to find a die that works well with this. This is from Master Layouts 3, this flag. I'm going to use this. In my last card, I used the bigger one, but I'm going to use the smaller one this time. And by my last card, if you are joining me saying, where's the last card? It is on the video prior to this video. I don't mean my last card that I just made in this video. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of purple tape down. Now, my plate is very warped, and I don't know if it's going to let this purple tape stick because it's going to pull on the die. All right, we're going to go for it. I'm going to move fast before it pops up. There we go. And we'll get that cut out. Ugh. The dust is a protective coating for your furniture. Oh, I like that. I'm going with that. That is the ticket. All right, so there we go. And birthday wishes. Let me just emboss that a little bit more. Heat up that powder. Yes, I know. I need my clothespin. Oh, yes, I do. It's hot. Okay, we'll put that aside. I just put it down, face down, so it might be smeared. Yay! That's fun. Oh, well. I could do it in white. No, I think I'll leave it the way it is. Now, I'm going to cut out one of these flowers so that I can pop that up on my card. And they're all really nice, so I'm going to just pick one and go for it. Let's see here. That should look okay. Should I just take a chance and just smash the plate down and see what happens without taping it down? Am I testing fate? I have two others. I'll test fate on the first one. Let's see what happens. There we go. That's the way to dust. Just open the window and let the dust fly out. Hey, I didn't tempt fate. That turned out really nice. Okay, and that can just get popped up like right here. So that gives me an extra flower in the mix, and that's what I wanted. But I also wanted it to be three-dimensional. What else do I have to cut out? I don't think I have to cut out anything else. All right. I'll find out in 5 seconds after I put the die cutting machine away what I forgot. So now, here is a question for you guys. Do you like the Ocean Mist card base, or do you like the powder blue card base? I hope you say powder blue, because when I put it on the powder blue just now, all of that powder blue just popped. So I'm hoping you all say powder blue. I'm counting on you here. We do have a Happy New Year stamp. It was in our last Christmas kit that was out a little while ago. And we do have more of those stamp sets coming back in stock. And there's a Happy New Year in there. Okay, good. Everybody's saying powder blue. Woohoo! Okay, so let's tape this all together here. I guess it's good to take the lid off. Oh, you know what? And there was a little bit of a conversation about how to use this tape runner. So here's the thing. I just want to give you a little explanation of how to use a dot style runner, because they're very different than a regular tape runner. They're very different. The dot style runner is tiny little dots. And when you use the dot style runner, you want to make sure that all the dots release. If all the dots don't release, they're going to get caught up in the runner and they're going to take the tape with them and they're going to kind of jam up the runner. Where the strip adhesive doesn't do that because it's not separate little pieces the way these dots are separate little glue pieces. So one thing that you can do to make a difference is it's the angle that you hold your tape runner. If you hold your tape runner this way, very flat, it's not going to release as well. What you want to do is tilt it forward like this a little bit when you're taping. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. A lot of people will go like this, and then not all the dots will release. So if you tilt it a little bit forward, you'll get more dots releasing. Can you see how all the dots released there? There you go. Because sometimes what I see happen is people just like they don't do it right, and then you get like, see how there's like parts of it missing in here? And then that is going to feed back into the tape runner and it's going to stick parts together that you don't want stuck together. So that's just a little help if you're having a little bit of trouble with a dot runner versus a regular runner. I know it's new for some of you, but they are awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere these together. All right. And then I folded my card terribly earlier, but that's all right. You guys know what a folded card looks like. Let me zoom in a little more here. Okay. Boy, my zoom is having trouble with my zoom, Tom. Okay. Can you see that angle I'm at? I'm not flat down like this. I'm really high up. All right, and we'll put that on there. There we go. Okay, so now let's adhere these two pieces together. It's just going to make that love stand out a little bit more. Whoo, that is quite a delicate little thing. So I had it already put together for my last video, which didn't give you guys a shot to see how I did it. So what I did was, let me get my Connect glue. This is so skinny. It's so skinny. And it's a little bit difficult to get the dots on there. So what I did was I just squeezed a little bit of Connect glue out. And then I just flipped it over. Let me flip it over on a piece of cardstock. I know I'm wasting some cardstock here, but I'm going to put it here. And then what I did is I just tapped my finger into the glue. And then I just tapped my finger on the back. Like that. Yes, it's gluey. It's sticky. I have to go wash my hands when I'm done, that's for sure. But it does make it easier with these delicate kinds of dyes than trying to get dots of glue and not having it ooze all over the place. All right, so that was a little mistake, but let's get this together. All righty. And I love how this looks together. It's so pretty. And I like having the shadow dye for this. Instead of trying to glue a couple of these together, I tried to glue a couple of them together and they were so skinny that it was a little difficult for me to do that. But this shadow dye just really, really thickens it up and makes it really easy to use. So there we go. Okay. So I'm going to take my tidy towel and just unstick my finger a little bit. I wash my tidy towels in my washer. I don't know if you guys do that, but I do. So love and birthday wishes. And then we can pop this flower right under there. Maybe I won't even pop it up. Maybe I'll just attach it. I could pop this whole love up too. Let's try that. We're going to be daring and bold here and use some foam squares to pop this flower up first. So we've got dimension. Do that. I'm not 100% thrilled with what I did there because I smeared it when I dropped it on its face. It wasn't cool yet. And that serves me right. I should have been using a clothespin to hold it. then I wouldn't have gotten hot and I wouldn't have dropped it. And my friend Karen from work gave me all kinds of clothespins, and I can see them from where I am, but I was lazy. All right, so I'm going to put that right here. So we've got that third one, and it's popped up. And then we're going to pop up the love. So we're going to use some foam squares just on the big sections, but I'm going to have to cut them down. They're still too fat. Now, if you don't want to use foam squares for this, you can use foam tape. That's totally fine too. Let me get my gluey, sticky scissors. Aren't they pretty? They're gross. And I know I can clean them with Goo Gone, but again, lazy. All right, can we get one more here? This is fun. I love stenciling. I really do. Stenciling is so fun. It's changed my world, my crafting world. So if you're newer to paper crafting and you've been working with stamps for a while, stamps are always fun, but you haven't tried stencils yet, they are really a must. They're super fun to use, and they make everything look good. Even when your stencil blending doesn't even look that good, and then you take the stencil off the paper, it looks good. I don't know what it is. Stenciling is like a miracle. Okay, so let's see where I want this. And birthday wishes right here. So we'll do this right here. I'm going to block the, there we go. There we go. Now, if you want that to stick down, all you have to do is get a little more of that glue on your finger and go ahead and just tap it along the back. And that'll stick down like that. Okay. So now we can slip this underneath. I think I'll move it over a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, and I'll just use tape for that. And I'll slip it right under the love so that the little loops of the word love just drift down over the flag. There we go. Now I've got a little bit of sparkle in there. You like that, guys? I like it. And I love the dimension. So you've got that little bit of interest where there's some stuff that's poked out a little bit. Fun using the blue too. So I'll show you this one again from last week. If you didn't see that video, you can go over and watch this video. I did a little wood graining on the back of that one. And I didn't use the stencil as a traditional stencil. I just used it for the elements. But this one, you've got that nice stenciled background, and then that little element just popped up. Oh, that was lots of fun. There it is, the finished card. Yay! Well, that was so much fun, guys. So I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel and maybe give this video a thumbs up. That helps me get recommended to other crafters out there that maybe don't know about me. So I thank you for that. And also, I am Gina K Designs over on Instagram, and I post all of my cards over there. And for New Year's, I just posted a picture of myself, which I don't know, every once in a while I do that. Sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable, but I did it anyway. And I had a little quote. So I'm just going to share it here with you. So 2021 is here, and there are better days ahead, far better days ahead than any we leave behind. Hope is much stronger than fear. So here's to a hopeful beginning of a great new year. And Tom and I are so glad that we get to spend it with you. Thank you guys so much. Hope is bigger than fear. Remember that as we trudge into 2021 together. And remember, no Wednesday Night Live, but Thursday at noon. I will be right here on YouTube and on Facebook with another fun project for you. In the meantime, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so much, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.